Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I'm here with a fairly large thrift haul to share with you guys. And all these items came from thrift stores and maybe some rummage sales, and that's about it, I guess. A couple things my mom found and the rest of the things I found. I know my mom did pick these up at a thrift store, just some glitter containers. I do believe she paid $1 for these three, and just kind of some nice fine glitter. My mom also lets me take out of any books that she likes to read also, and if we're able to easily take out any of like the library pockets, she lets me do that in any of the books that she picks up at thrift stores. And so I did pull these out of a couple of her books just to use in my junk journaling. And let's see, my mom did find a ton of doilies, and so I know this whole pack here was attached. So there's 3 sets here, and she only paid $0.25 for all of these. And I told her I was kind of good on doilies, but then when it was only $0.25, she went ahead and bought it. So there's, you know, some white ones and then the red ones. And then she also had these for me, and I don't know if she bought those at the same time or a different time period. Sometimes when I go to her house, she just has a big pile sitting for me of stuff. And so she did have these also for me in kind of, you know, a wide variety of styles and shades of white. The next little set of items I found thrifting, and there was not a price tag on it, but they charged me $1 when I went up and asked. So it's like it's a card kit, you know, an extra large size card kit. There's a couple different sizes of envelopes in here, and then there's like scalloped edge paper, but you can fold it in half. So there's that style in here, and then I'll show you, there's another style. There's a couple different styles. So then there's also this pretty little scalloped edge, and also this one and this one. So there's 1, 2, 3, and just kind of more of a decorative edge. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 5 different styles in there, plus the envelopes that they fit into. So I just thought they'd be nice little bases for larger size cards when I do Happy Mail. And I thought they were a great price at $1. And then I also found this, it was $2.99. And these are matte white postcards, and it was a full set. I did kind of open it up and look at it, and you can see that they're all there. And what I liked about these ones is that they were heavyweight. I've thrifted some before in the past, but they weren't heavyweight and they were really light. And these ones you can run through your printer, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut them up. They're already postcard size, and then I'll stamp using some of my postcard stamps, and then I can decorate the other side and use them in my junk journals. I was able to thrift this little crochet thread for $2.99. And I do love the color of it, and I use this type of thread when I bind my junk journals. I do have quite a bit in my stash, but for that price I thought it was a pretty good deal to have. And then sometimes I don't mind having like little extra threads, like crochet threads around in my craft room, because if my mom comes and visits and she runs out of whatever project she brings, she can always like crochet little doilies and stuff out of things like this. So it never hurts to have extra in my craft room. I did thrift a couple of rubber stamps, and I think this is it. Maybe there's one more set, but we'll get to it if there is. So this one is like a kind of a birthday border one, which I liked. It's a Stampin' Up one, and I got that one for $1. This one was also $1. It was a magenta one with a little girl, is the brand Magenta, which was made in Canada. And a little girl playing a piano. It's a vintage style, so I do like that. And then this one I paid $2.99 for. And I really like this one. It's from Close to My Heart. And it had like some friendship type sentiments and then some really pretty flowers on it. So I picked it up for that reason. Then the next couple things I have to tell you guys I was really excited about. I went to a thrift store that I normally don't get to very often because it's kind of out of the way, but I did stop. And usually I go there just because they have good deals on doilies and linens. And I didn't find anything this time in the doily or linen section, but they actually had a really nice craft section this time, which normally they don't. And great prices on all the crafts, but they did have these dynamic cutting dies. And so here's like a banner one, and they only charged $1 for each of them. So great deal. So I got that one. And then this one makes a bow. And this one doesn't look like it was ever used. And again, for $1. I do have some other die cuts that make bows, and I don't use them very often. But for $1 price tag, I thought it was still a pretty good deal on that one to pick that one up, even though I'll probably only use it a few times. Then they also had these, which are from Recollections. And they had 99 cents each on them, and there was 2 sets, and I picked up both of them. They're like little ladybugs and little wood pieces of a dragonfly, and then also the hummingbird. And I thought those were kind of cute. So I picked those up. They were 99 cents each. I also, at one of the thrift stores, this was $3.99. I did pick up this pile of pink thread. I was getting kind of low on my sewing machine for pink thread, and I got all of these for $3.99 and a couple of the little wooden spools. So I'll probably start with those ones because then I end up having the little wooden spools to craft with. So I do like it when there's a couple little vintage ones in there also. And then also at that same thrift store, this whole container was $4.99. And I do have to tell you, I did take out, there was a whole bunch more of these style Christmas buttons in there. There were some that were larger than this. This is a smaller size one. But this whole side was actually really full of those. And I gave them to my mom, and she was actually looking for some like Christmas buttons for a sweater. My nephew is having a baby soon, and my mom likes to make baby sweaters, and she was making like kind of a Christmas themed one because it's going to be a December baby, and she wanted some Christmas buttons, so it was perfect that I came across this at the right time. So I gave them to her because I didn't buy this for the buttons in there. There are some little snowflake buttons. I bought it mainly because there was a ton of Christmas charms in here. So I know these ones came from Hobby Lobby because I've bought these before. There's some snowmen, some mittens, and this little container right here has little birds in it. Let's see, up here there is just kind of some crystal snowflakes. There's some red ones in there. Some more of those Hobby Lobby charms, and these ones are bells. And in this next little box here, there's a ton of different styles of crosses. There's some that have little rhinestones in them. And, you know, there's a couple plastic ones, a couple brass ones, just kind of a wide variety. And then in this little spot, there is a ton of like those enamel charms. There's gingerbread men, there's elves, there's snowflakes, there's snowmen, packages, gift packages, so a ton of different ones in there. And let's see, in this one, it's kind of some little like candy cane charms. They're little plastic ones. And more of those Hobby Lobby charms. And these ones are like stockings and candy canes, pine cones in that sector. Here's kind of some pretty little like star snowflakes with some rhinestones in them. And then in the bottom, there's just kind of a miscellaneous, there's some charms and then also some buttons, kind of Christmas themed. Peppermints. Here's two little, like, I don't know if these are apples or cherries that are kind of like hearts with tops on them. A whole bunch of colored little jingle bells. Again, a Christmas thing. And then here's some little like beaded dangles in this one. And then the last one, there's a ton of different like spacers, like spacer beads in there. So and then this one, there was a couple of little Christmas buttons too, little wood ones. So I thought that was a pretty good deal for $4.99 on that one. And then I went to another thrift store and I was looking at the clothes because they really don't have much of a craft section, but I went over there just because someone had told me everything that day was 50% off store-wide. And in there, like, they have a little antique vintage section where they sell stuff, and even the stuff in that section was on sale, which I couldn't believe. But I found vocabulary cards, German and Latin ones, and I did pick up a while ago some French vocabulary cards, and I paid like $11, I think, for them on eBay. So these ones, they had a price tag of $8, and then I only had to pay like $4 for them. So I thought that was a really good deal, but they're just, you know, little vocabulary cards, and then they have the, you know, one side's English and the other side's the language on it. So I thought that was kind of fun to come across some in Latin, and then also the German ones for $4 each. Another fun thing that I found at my local thrift store is they did have like a bag full of blue jean material, and they also had this bag of like blue jean pockets. And so I just bought this one, and it was $2 for this whole bag. And I thought these would be so much fun to put on a page or even a cover of a junk journal or even a card, and you can like put like flowers in them, or you can actually make it into a pocket and then you can stick journaling cards into it. But I thought that was a really good deal for $2. I know when I checked out, the lady was kind of jealous. She's like, oh, I didn't know that those were back there. But I told her that there was a whole bag of like material, because she makes rugs, blue jean rugs. So I think she was probably going to go check it out after her shift to see if they were still there. So I did, or my mom did find, and these were all connected. These were one of those tablecloths that were connected with the doilies and the little spacer pieces in between them. But I did take them apart one day. I just needed something to keep my hands busy, and so I did already take these apart. And I thought I left the tag in there, but I think my mom found it for, I think she paid $1 or $2 for the whole tablecloth, but quite a few little doilies and the spacer pieces in that one. And let's see, my mom also found these two. I don't know how much she paid for these, or if they came in something else and she wanted what the rest of it was. But these are the little pineapple pattern crochet things. And these are kind of fun because if you have a journal, you can like wrap this around like the spine of the journal, and you know, it looks kind of pretty. So I have a couple of those that she gave me. And then here was another little grab bag thing. She paid $1 for it, and I know that there was more crochet thread in here and more things in here. And my mom took out what she wanted, but she didn't want, they were partial projects, and she didn't want to spend the time taking them apart for the crochet thread. But I think I'm just going to cut them up and use them because they're kind of little square pieces, so you can use those kind of as layering pieces. And so this was connected to that crochet thing. So I'll probably give her this back when I do something with this, because I don't know that I'll need that one. And then again, some more partially done ones that, you know, we can definitely use these when we're just layering on things. So my mom did give me that. And then the last few things came from a new thrift store for me and my mom. I had my cousin's kids, which I'm not quite sure how they're related to me. I just call them my cousins, but they're my cousin's kids, and they're young women now. They're in their 20s. And they came to visit for a few days, and they like to thrift, so we went out thrifting one day. And so we went to this new, like, it's not new, but new to us, and it was a church thrift store, and they're only open a few days a week. But they had fabulous prices on their clothes. I mean, in the day that we were there, everything Christmas was 50% off. So they, besides having great prices, they also had, deals for the day. And the lady charged me $1 for both of these. Not $1 each, but when I went up there, they said $1 each. But she just said she thought that they were more worth $1 for both. So she gave me both. So there's 2 little collar pieces of lace in this one. Some vintage ones, and then same with this one too. A nice little collar piece in there. And then at that same thrift store, some of the craft stuff didn't have prices on it, but she gave me this whole bag for $2 of flowers. And I know right offhand I will probably never use these yellow ones, and I'll give those back to a thrift store. But all the little ribbon roses, and I needed some more light blue ones, which is one of the main reasons why I gravitated towards this. I still have quite a bit of white left in my stash, and I also like this color purple. So, but I will keep the white, and I'll keep the red, and all the colors other than this style of yellow roses. I think I'll probably gift those back. But I still thought that was a great deal for $2 for the whole bag. But then there's also these pretty little leaves, and I'm always looking for leaves. Just because when you do have flowers, sometimes it's fun to add the leaves when you're decorating behind things. And I thought these were kind of a really pretty brown, vintage color, or could use them for a fall themed card or project. So that whole bag was $2. And then again, when I was there, the rest of this stuff didn't have price tags on it, but she sold it to me for next to nothing. So all these things, because I did want some zippers, because I want to make a zipper pocket for a junk journal. And so I just wanted some to mess around with, just to try. And she sold each one for $0.25, so, I got 4 for $1. And then this is like some little, crochet ribbon, you can, not crochet, cross stitch on it. And so I thought that was kind of neat. Again, she charged me $0.25 for that. Each of these, or this little gray seam binding, she charged me $0.25. And this actually came from my mom's house. It was just kind of laying in her laundry room on the floor, and I was helping her with some laundry, and I asked her about it, and it was some, the ribbon that when you buy pajamas or something, and sometimes the ribbons around it, that's where it came from, and she didn't want it, so I took it. So that didn't cost me anything. And then this last little longer piece of lace also came from the same thrift store, and she charged me $1 for the whole thing, and you guys can see that there's quite a bit. And it's kind of some nice layering lace. So I was excited about that, and I think that's everything that I found so far for a thrift haul. Some of this came from part of July and a little bit of the beginning of August. And hopefully I will have some more thrifted finds to share with you guys later. So thank you guys so much for watching. You'll have to let me know what favorite items you would have thrifted if you saw these. And also if you have, when you see stuff, if you have any great ideas for things. Of course, I always love hearing what you guys would create with items that I find, because sometimes you guys have some wonderful ideas. So until next time, again, thank you everybody so much for watching, and have a wonderful day and happy crafting.